during my 90-second intro, but I'm a big list guy. I love ranking things. I'm all about it. So there will be plenty of that on this show. But yeah, we're going to jump into our first ranking during a segment that I like to call Top 5. Pretty straightforward. Sure you guys can imagine what we're going to be doing. We're going to be ranking 5 of a thing. So we're going to start off. Our first top 5 segment is going to be top 5 artists or bands that we're currently listening to, that are currently in rotation. So not all time top 5, not who you think is the best of all time top 5, but who are you listening to right now? Now, I'm sure some of those favorite artists will trickle in to that list, but we don't always listen to our favorite artist all the time. So we'll go Matt first on this one. So Matt, hit us with your top 5 artists or bands that are currently in rotation.
All right. So currently on my rotation
5 to 1. Sorry,
5 to 1. All right. So number 5, Post Malone. Okay. Number 4, Kendrick Lamar. Number 3, Chappelle Roan. Number 2, Joji. And number 1, Noah Khan.
Okay. Interesting list there.
I said widespread. I said I got a widespread of music I love.
It's funny too, because not to correct you, but I know Chappell Roan has been very upset with people mispronouncing her name. So if she's listening, Chappell, I'm sure Matt did not mean to mispronounce.
I when I look at it, I'm very bad with, like, we had a game a while back where you were like, Matt, pronounce these names. I'm very terrible.
Yeah, it is a thing. It's a thing, folks.
But I will definitely get that right going forward.
Yeah, no, but she's probably the most surprised pick that I would pull off your list. She's huge right now. She's got a ton of fans. But I don't know if 35-year-old, not 35, you're 33?
33 this next Saturday.
33-year-old
sir
gamers. I don't know if...
Hey, man, she sounds so much like Cyndi Lauper.
Interesting.
Which has such a really fun vibe, like listening to, like, Good Luck Babe.
Yeah.
And Pink Pony Club. They're just really... And also, it's like, if I can dance and jam to your music, I'm having a great time.
Fair enough.
And I think that she does that very well.
Yeah, I'm a big King Princess fan. For anybody out there who listens to KP, and she, like, I've been to a few of her shows, but she called out during one of her shows that, like, all of her fans are lesbian or gay. And I was just kind of like, yeah, definitely.
You're sitting there.
Definitely not, definitely an ally for sure. But, like, yeah, no, I don't fit the category of what her normal fans are probably like.
Hey, man, you make good music and
exactly.
you can jam to it. You got a fan in me.
Gotcha. And I don't know if I'm familiar with Joji. What is?
So he had a YouTube career for a while where he was Dirty Dan, I think is what he was.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just like a troll, essentially, a troll YouTuber. But he's done that song, Slow Dancing in the Dark, Sanctuary. It's sad boy music. I'll be up front. Okay. It's sad boy music.
You have to send me a couple of songs. I don't know if I've ever even heard of him.
Dude, I'm writing
he was your number one?
Noah Khan.
Okay. Again, not super. I think you showed me a couple of his songs before, but definitely not somebody who I have personally listened to outside of your recommendations.
I do think you would like him.
Really?
Yeah, you like folk music.
I do love folk music.
And he's a really, really great folk singer.
Okay.
So I definitely enjoy listening to him as I'm like, you'll be driving or like doing something. You start contemplating real hard with his music.
Okay. Then obviously Posty. Posty's
gotta have
obviously familiar with Posty. And who else was on there?
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Understandable. All right. Will you say anything to add or criticize about Matt's list there?
It's whack.
Damn.
No. There were definitely some stuff I didn't expect. And I also made my list a little bit backwards, but I mean, like you said, they overlap. So
yeah.
I'm tweaking two things as we go forward.
No worries. We'll let you go last then. Yeah, so my list, let me get it pulled up here on the old cellular device. Okay, so from 5 to 1 for me, I'm going to go number 5, Killer Mike. Number 4, Mac Miller. Number 3, Earl Sweatshirt. Number 2, Frank Ocean. And number 1, Kendrick Lamar.
All right.
Yeah.
The second you said Killer Mike, I was like, who?
Killer Mike. Most people, will know Killer Mike. Well, not most people. A lot of people will know Killer Mike from his career as one half of Run the Jewels.
Oh,
Yeah, RTJ. It's big. He was actually a part of. I'm not sure if he got his start as a part of the Dungeon Family, which was the group that Outkast debuted. Like, you know, most rappers, once they make it big, they will put on their, you know, people from their neighborhood, people that they help them get to where they are. So you have a lot of people who come up together. And I believe he was a part of the Dungeon Family. I know he definitely collaborated with them a lot. But yeah, he's very sort of it's conscious hip hop, but it's also got like an aggressive feel to it.
Okay.
His last album, Michael, was huge. It won the Grammy for best rap album the year it came out. A lot of, just like I said, very conscious, very heavy hitting, hard hitting songs. Very different from what he. That's not fair. It's not a fair criticism because he raps the way he does when he raps with Run the Jewels, but I think the subject matter is a little bit different when he's by himself. Just because I think Run the Jewels is a little more. I don't want to say poppy, but it's a little more
family friendly. That's what comes to my mind when I think Run the Jewels.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say RTG is necessarily family friendly. They're just a little more. It's not as
Mainstream.
not as much depth to the lyrics.
Okay,
I
okay.
guess it's a little light, a lot more lighter than what he does when he's by himself.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he's a great artist. Definitely, I'll send you some songs from him. But
I was gonna say, if there was one song that you could choose to, like, if someone was like, "Hey, I'm kind of interested in Killer Mike," what's one song you'd be like, "You listen to this one"?
Well, like I said, his new album Michael is what's been in rotation for me. So off that album, I think my favorite song is a song called "Shed Tears."
Shed Tears.
Yeah,
Okay.
"Shed Tears" is probably my favorite song off that album. Either that or the opening track "Down by Law." Yeah, so either one of those two would be recommended for sure. That whole album is incredible, though. Like I said, it won Grammy for best rap album, which I know isn't the be all end all of music, but it
Pretty good, though.
it is something to be proud of for sure.
And who was your other one? Jersey what? Gene what?
Earl Sweatshirt, is that who you're
Earl
referring to?
Sweatshirt.
Yeah,
That's
so two members of Odd Future on my five current.
Odd Future.
Yeah, Odd Future, and not Tyler. Most people, when you think Odd Future, you think Tyler, the creator.
For sure you do.
But no, I love all of Odd Future. Tyler, obviously, is incredible. Frank is, I know we're not doing a top artist list, but Frank Ocean is by far my favorite artist. Frank Ocean is, to me, what Lord of the Rings is. Frank Ocean is to music what Lord of the Rings is for film. Like it's in its own category for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't even compare other films to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't compare other artists to Frank Ocean because there's no point. Because I will always prefer Frank Ocean.
No, he's got a really beautiful range of music that he does.
And his two albums, well, that's the crazy thing. He's really only put out 2 full albums. Like he's got a mixtape, Nostalgia Ultra, that he put out early in his career, and then there's another album called Endless that was sort of like a way for him to get out of his contract. So he technically has like 4 projects, but he really only has 2. And the fact that he's made it up to the top of my Mount Rushmore with just 2 albums
speaks for itself.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's in a league of his own. But anyway, Earl Sweatshirt is another member of Odd Future who is an underrated artist, super good. His album Doris is one that's always in rotation for me. He's got another album called Some Rap Songs that's always in rotation for me. He's just like a true like hip hop artist. Like it's like backpack rap, but it's also, like I said, it just has that's my thing. I love substance. Like music is all about lyrics for me, so that's why all of my artists are rappers, because while I appreciate music and I think that's a skill and a talent on its own, like music for me has always been about lyrics and substance. So that's what I always prioritize when listening. That's what always resonates the most with me. So Earl is great. I'm sure if you heard him, you would probably recognize a few of his songs. He was Odd Future did the Loader Squad show. Earl, the prison sketch.
Yeah,
he's the main guy in the prison sketch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So if you want a visual of what he looks like, that's him. Which again, you look at that guy, you're like, he's a rapper. Like he makes really good. Yeah, he makes incredible music, incredibly dope music, and him and Frank are definitely mainstays on my Spotify, my Amazon, always.
Hell yeah.
And then obviously Kendrick Lamar.
I mean,
Excuse me. Yeah, he is my favorite. He will always be my favorite. Obviously this was his year.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a year. And he took the number 1 spot from the artist who he who must not be named,
No longer.
who will not ever get any attention from me ever again.
Wow.
So
Really?
yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Completely erased from
Yeah.
history.
Yeah, like he's been blocked on my Spotify.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been.
you can block on Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
You can say, "Do not play songs from this person," and they won't.
Wow.
Yeah. Great feature.
That's wild. I had no idea.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to give him any more attention. So we haven't said his name, which is great, but I don't even want to give him any more attention. So, and then Mac Miller, obviously.
You love Mac. You
I love
always
Mac.
have.
Yeah, Mac's great, and his posthumous albums have been great. Circles was great. He just came out with he didn't come out with it. His estate put out a new project called Balloonerism that came out a few months ago, so that's been in heavy rotation for me. A really good album, definitely worth checking out. I really just love the way his estate has handled his music after he's died. It's just been really respectful. John Bryan has worked with him a lot. Or again, I keep saying worked with him. Worked with them. Worked with his estate. Worked with his family a lot to put out some of this music. And John Bryan is a genius in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my list.
That's your list. Cool. We have some overlap, but not
Okay.
on the actual list because I do have Mac Miller and Kendrick as like a rotating thing.
Yeah.
But with my Spotify list, like I just hit shuffle with everything I've liked. So yeah, I hit shuffle with everything I've liked, and
Okay.
that's kind of why I was like, well, I thought it was supposed to be a top 5, and I
It
changed
clearly
to.
says, Luis, artist bands
You know.
that are currently having rotation.
I know. But so rotation right now, I'm gonna start
Okay.
with number 5 is tied with Ariana Grande and Hobo Johnson.
This guy doing ties. Did we say honorable mentions?
They're tied. It's
5
one
and
song
4.
and then the next one.
Ariana. Okay.
Number
Ariana Grande. Oh, sorry. We're supposed to just be letting you
I
go.
know.
Yeah.
Go.
No, number 4 is Amine.
Start over.
Okay. 5. Yeah, it goes to Ariana, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 4, Amine. Number 3, Alejandro Fernandez. Number 2, Fall Out Boy. And then number 1, Rex Live Raj.
Okay.
Ariana Grande. Yeah,
Ariana
that's
Grande
still-
being
that's still
on the
surprise.
list
Listen,
is hey.
Ariana she arguably has one of the best voices, I think, ever. Like, I think pure talent voice-wise. I can't say I'm a big fan of her music. I love her voice. I think she's got a killer voice. But, yeah, I'm not throwing on Thank You Next personally.
Well, you're married, so you really there is no.
No,
thank you
but
next.
but I'm just saying, like, so what about Ariana? Like, again, sort of like,
Call me
King
out.
Princess isn't on my list, but she's someone that I love.
Yeah,
Matt with Chaperone. What about
So,
Ariana?
like, kind of like how Matt said, and then,
Yeah.
you called me out. Thank you, next. I got in a mood driving home. And I was like, let's put on some of my sad boy music. And my sad boy music is
Ariana
your
Grande is your
typical,
sad boy
like,
music?
Why not?
Oh man, okay.
Quality.
Hey, no, fair enough.
So, that's mainly been why. That, and then, Wicked just came out
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie,
a couple
by
months
the way.
ago. So,
Fall Out Boy being your number 2 is
Makes sense.
I
get that.
Fall
I
Out
thought
Boy
they would be
being on
number
the
one.
list.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
thought
thought
they
so
would be
too.
they're not number 1. So Rex Live Raj took over number 1 during the pandemic, right? I
Gotcha.
found him, started listening to him, and just it's always going to be number 1 for me from now on. And same thing, he's only put out like 4 albums, but Father Figure is a classic, and Moonwalk, both great albums. My favorite song, I've listened to it any given year since then at least 50 times. It goes on repeat.
Jeez.
Any
And-
given time is the song name?
No. The Fog. The Fog is
Oh,
the
The
name.
Fog. Okay.
Yeah. So, but any given time, I'll sit there and I'll just loop it.
Hell yeah.
It's got a great message. It helps me calm down too. So, like for my meetings, it gets me in the right mindset.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's an interesting call out because I agree with that because his music, and this is going to sound weird, is very loopable. Like he writes the type of music that's very like you can just listen to it over and over again.
I love that.
Yeah, like when you first introduced me to him, Time, right? That's the name of the song.
Time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I listened to that song so much like that it ended up in my top 5 for the Spotify Wrapped that year, and it was pretty late in the year when you had recommended it to me because it was like a few months before my wedding, I think, and I got married in November, so it had to be in the second half of the year.
You were just listening.
August, September, I think.
That was definitely a song that I played
Time?
a lot. Time, yeah.
Okay.
Great song.
So Time
Great
and
song.
Fog. I'm listening to those on my way home today.
Both on the same album, so like
okay.
you can just run the album; it'll go straight into each other.
Nice.
But yeah, so Rex Live Raj and that one song alone, so The Fog is gonna be like my favorite song of all time, and so
Great song.
even if I can't, I'm like, I don't feel like listening to too much music, or I've been watching through videos on YouTube, whatever, and I need to switch the mindset. It's a great reset.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Who else did you have on there?
So Alejandro Fernandez,
Okay.
Part of my thing was that I did mariachi for so many years, and I've been playing the instrument or the violin for like 26, 28 years, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And mariachi for 20 years. So, like he was the first artist that I got introduced to, first song that I sang, big part of my life. And, I just, when I need to get something out and I need to like vocalize, sing, or just get into certain feelings again, I'll just start singing. Like his voice, is very elevated, very precise. Right now he's on a tour as one of the top mariachi performers.
Oh, wow.
His dad used to be, the king, Vicente Fernandez el Rey. So, he is what mariachi music is to me.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Nice. And that's cool that that's still in your rotation, even though, like, because I mean, you still obviously mariachi is still a big part of your life, but you've moved on, like you said, to a career. But that's cool that that's stuck with you, because the things that drive our passions don't always stick with us as we move on to other things. So that's cool that stuck around. And I know obviously Matt and I know you very well, so we know that you are Fall Out Boy fan till you die. But what I know, Fall Out Boy has been around forever. For one thing, they've been sort of the poster boy for emo
rock,
music.
emo.
Yes.
But I wouldn't consider you like a punk emo kind of guy. I don't know if that was a part of who you were as like a high schooler. But
it
was
okay. So I got into Fall Out Boy I think in junior high, and at that point I went one of two ways. Before I even got into like mariachi music, I found rock music, punk music through a couple of friends. They used to live close by. They wanted to get a group together, and as a musician, you're like, oh, well, I play this instrument or I play that. Oh, maybe we should get together, form a band. And so they were very, very big on Blink-182. And growing up, I was raised similar to Matt with the morals, and you have to behave, you have to be proper, not much cursing. I used to get yelled at, or Mexican culture, we'd get the belt. So Fall Out Boy was one of those that they didn't curse in any of their songs.
Oh, is that right? They don't curse?
Not really.
No. So getting into that, and I learned to play the bass guitar. Pete Wentz was iconic as his time for being like the bad boy doing crazy stuff, and but not bad enough to where he was like drinking, or he was in drugs and drinking, but but
he
not
did
getting
not
arrested.
Swear, okay,
Well,
he had a clean vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny that he calls that out because he's absolutely right. I think the hardest I've never heard them drop like F-bombs or anything like that. But when I think of Dance Dance, it's like, or no, this ain't a scene. It's a goddamn arms race.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing.
I think that's the most I've ever heard them quote unquote cuss.
They didn't start off as like a Christian band or anything.
No, it was a
I know a lot
screamo
of
band.
emo bands do. Yeah.
They started off as a screamo band, and so like Pete Wentz, again, he was the main screamer, and then something happened where like Pete Wentz, who's the guitarist, the lead vocalist, like he really dove into music, and I think their third album, Folie à Deux, or maybe the fourth, but Folie à Deux, there was a lot more musicality to it. One of my favorite songs is Winona, I think, but they had a whole orchestra behind it. So like this
wow.
guy
Okay.
knows his music, and if you listen to it, you can kind of piece together. Well, and it made sense for me. Like, all right, I know where this is going. I like these tunes. We're throwing in piano, strings. The vocals are pretty on point. And then back to the pandemic, like the album that they put out, it was meaningful. It was like, you know, we understand what is happening sucks.
Yeah.
And this is going to be our way out of it. And quite literally, like some of the songs that they do is like, we're crawling out. Like we see the staircase. We're shooting to get past this. So, that's why, you know, from a teenager to now, they've kind of stuck with it because every album has a way to connect with the audience.
Gotcha. That's cool. That's cool. All right, solid list. Anybody else on there you want to call out?
I mean, so Amine.
Yeah. Again, familiar with the name. I couldn't tell you a song.
He was very popular like back in like 2018, 2019 with his album Yellow.
Is it pop music or is it more?
No, it's
hip-hop?
rap.
Okay.
Hip hop. I'm trying to think of the lyrics right now, but Spice Girl is one of the songs. Veggies is another song, but Dakota is my favorite song from him. So similar things, like the Rob is pop rock and culture rock. So he makes a lot of references to what's going on or what's happening.
Okay.
And it's fun. Honestly, like it's got a message while being fun and loud. So that's why I like it.
Cool. All right. That's our first top 5, guys. I think we nailed it there.